Hello, we wanted to take some time and read to you the article Following the Movement of Carbon in Ecosystems from your textbook called Ecosystems and Their Interactions. What do you think of when you hear the word carbon? You might think of coal or maybe a carbon fiber for filter for an aquarium. You might be surprised to learn that carbon is all around you, even inside you. On Earth, all living things depend on carbon. Carbon is part of every cell in your body, from your eyes to your heart and even your DNA. Carbon is the main component of carbohydrates, which gives you energy. Carbon is also found in fats and proteins. It is a major source of energy for all living things. Carbon is so vital for life on Earth that we call all life on this planet carbon based, because without carbon, none of it would exist. Carbon moves continuously through ecosystems on Earth. A carbon moves through ecosystems. It travels through each of Earth's four spheres: the atmosphere, hydrosphere, biosphere, and geosphere. The atmosphere is an envelope of gases that surround Earth's surface. The hydrosphere consists of all the water on Earth stored in rivers, lakes, and oceans. The biosphere is made of all living things on Earth. The geosphere consists of a solid portion of Earth, including rock, soil, minerals, and landforms. Carbon moves through both biotic and abiotic components of an ecosystem. It is found in different states and in different compounds as it cycles through ecosystems. Carbon is found in the atmosphere as a gas. Atmospheric carbon is mostly carbon dioxide, CO2. Plants and algae take in CO2 during photosynthesis. They retain the carbon and releases the oxygen back into the atmosphere. Some CO2 is dissolved in the oceans. Plankton use CO2 for photosynthesis, just like plants. Plankton, plants, and algae, along with other living things, make up Earth's biosphere. Plants, algae, and plankton are eaten by other organisms. Those organisms eat plants, algae, and plankton. Those organisms that eat plants, algae, and plankton are then eaten by other organisms. Some living things, like humans, eat both plants and animals. Carbon is transferred from one organism to another within the biosphere in this way. Many organisms breathe, a process known as respiration. They release a small amount of carbon dioxide as they exhale, returning carbon back to the atmosphere. When organisms die, microorganisms break down their cells into smaller substances in a process called decomposition. One of these substances is carbon. The decomposed remains of living things are known as organic matter because they contain carbon. In this way, carbon is transferred from the biosphere into the geosphere. Carbon from organic matter can be stored in the geosphere for a long time, even millions of years. Under the right combinations of heat and pressure, this carbon can be transformed into fossil fuels, such as oil and coal. Humans burn these fuels for energy, releasing carbon back into the atmosphere. Since it is not a natural process, burning fossil fuels changes how carbon moves through an ecosystem. A great concern to humans today is how to reduce the amount of carbon released into the atmosphere from burning fossil fuels. Looking at the captions, the output of carbon into an environment due to the excess burning of fossil fuels has prompted humans to seek alternative forms of energy. Solar power and wind energy are two alternate forms of energy that are being used. Plants have cellular structures called stomatas that enable them to take in carbon dioxide from the atmosphere. The stomata also release oxygen created by the process of photosynthesis. And finally, carbon is an essential element found in all living things. Many organisms, such as animals, obtain the carbon they need through a variety of food they eat. So once again, this was Following the Movement of Carbon in Ecosystems.